back, everybody. Our next guest is a celebrity chef and resident Wurstmacher at Dog House. Did I say that right?
You say it, but you say it better than anybody. I love when you say it.
I can answer the phones for you there if you'd like me to. Wurstmacher. Today he's preparing tempura wasabi cream cheese stuffed bagels. What? What is that?
Let's just call it Tokyo Nosh to make it
seriously. Please welcome back to our home one of our favorite chefs in the world, Adam Gertler. Hello. Welcome, Adam. Basically, this is what won you the crown on Comeback Kitchen.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, he won Comeback Kitchen. That deserves a round of applause.
Thank you.
So how did this come about?
Well, so when you do these crazy competition shows, you'll walk into a room and there'll be, you know, Valerie Bertinelli and Tyler Florence there, as if that's not intimidating enough, and they'll tell you, hey, we have this thing, and it's a case of like Jewish deli food, right?
Okay.
So, and I'm like, all right, this is the food of my people. This is my challenge. And then they say, all right, you have 40 minutes to take a classic dish, take it to another country by pulling a flag out of a map, and oh, by the way, you have to make an Instagram story at the same time, to which point I was like, what's an Instagram story? So it's a lot of things.
Minutes.
Yeah, it's really intense. I mean, I've been doing television for 10 years. I started my career on Food Network Star 10 years ago, which is why it was a big deal to come back.
Right, because you won, you did such a good job, you're now on this season of Food Network Star.
But I mean, competing is never easy. I don't care who you are. Like, it's just so much pressure.
Yeah, because they give you a certain amount of time and they say you have to have this dish done.
Yeah, and so something like this, I'd never done anything like this before. I don't even know where this idea came from, but I thought, you know, you go to a Japanese restaurant, you've ever heard of a Philadelphia roll or something like that? So the idea of cream cheese and Japanese and smoked salmon was already there. And then I've done wasabi cream cheese before, so I'm like, all right, what if we make this really light tempura batter? We stuff the cream cheese in, because things stuffed with cheese are always
delicious.
Good. And then the lox has to go on top, because I'm not a fan of cooking lox.
Okay.
You got to keep it kind of raw.
All right, well, you guys dig in. I don't want to stress you out, but you have 6 minutes.
All right, let's go. Okay, so we start with scooped bagels. Now,
why is it important to scoop
I always scoop a bagel because you get maximum stuff inside the bagel anyway. Like, aside from any consideration of carbs, it's about getting more filling in there.
And also, it's not going to squeeze out.
Exactly, and we're stuffing in, and we want everything to stay in here. So we have cream cheese in here.
Okay.
And we're going to add some stuff to that. So a classic, you've all heard of scallion cream cheese, right? Of
course, delicious.
Nothing weird about that.
No.
So then to give it a little bit more tang, we're going to throw in some creme fraiche.
All right, do you want me to start?
Yeah, you can just start mixing it all up.
Mixing it.
Then this is the most important ingredient for the wasabi cream cheese, and that's wasabi paste. They sell this in a tube.
And it's really hot.
It's really hot. Like, I've made this, and it can almost get too hot for people.
Yeah.
Then we have a little sambal olek, which is a nice garlicky chili paste. That's always delicious.
Sambal olek?
Sambal. Sambal is like the chili paste.
Okay.
And then this is a little dashi. This is like a smoky, fishy. This is like the base of a lot of soups and stuff like that. So we'll just throw that in.
Okay.
And then there was just a little bit of soy sauce.
Okay.
It really does remind me of the sushi roll.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
It's good. It's really good.
Not
Like a
that
spicy
I
tuna
trust
roll?
you, but this is actually really good.
It sounds so much weirder.
It's a spicy lox roll.
Yeah, exactly. Spicy lox roll. That's what we're calling it now. So now we take that filling, which we have some here that's already mixed up, and then you just want to get it maximum up there. Like, you want to fill it to the brim with this thing, okay? And while you're doing that, I'm going to make this batter. So I have equal parts here of flour, tapioca starch, and cornstarch.
Why?
The reason why we're using the cornstarch and the tapioca starch is it's not going to develop gluten, which will make it stretchy, which is something you want in bread. But in a crust, you want it to be short, like a pie crust, right? You want it to be wispy and crackling. The vodka is going to evaporate. Vodka's a liquid, but it's not a lot of water. It's mostly alcohol. So it takes the place of water. It acts like water, but then as soon as it hits that oil, it evaporates incredibly quick. And where the vodka was, it leaves you this shell. That's
so it's going to burn off completely.
Very quickly. And so with something like this, the idea of like deep frying bread, it sounds very counterintuitive. Like, it sounds like it could get greasy. I don't think you'll find it to be that way at all.
What about the beer? Why the beer?
The beer, because it contains bubbles, it also has flavor, and those bubbles, when they get hot, they fill with steam and they expand and they make a more crackling area.
So you mean to tell me in the 30 minutes that you had to do this, you also had like a science experiment going on in your head?
Well, listen.
Because why couldn't you just use the regular tempura flour? They clearly didn't have
it may have been there, but I don't even know if it was there. So I think we have some in the freezer that we can, we'll swap those out.
Do you have to freeze them?
You don't have to, but you should get it to be nice and cold, because the key is you don't want any of the cream cheese going anywhere but in the bagel.
Okay.
So then we're going to do a very simple breading method here.
All right.
Where you're going to take these nice bagels that are set up, and you're going to toss it in that same flour mixture.
Okay.
Because you're going to give the batter something to adhere to. And then you're going to go in this batter, and look, notice how thin the batter is.
Yeah,
you're going to think that the batter, you'd want it to be thicker, but the fact is a thicker batter is actually going to just absorb more oil, and it's going to make it really like leaden and heavy. And so just like that, we go right into the oil. Just like that.
Oh. And how long do they take to cook in there?
These will cook for about 90 seconds in there. You just want them to start to get golden brown. Again, because we're using the tapioca starch and the cornstarch, it's not going to get like a really deep golden brown. It's kind of a lighter thing, kind of like tempura.
Okay.
And then we come out, then we're going to finish them with the lox.
All right,
and everything
well, while
like
we wait for these to fry, we have a clip of your return to Food Network star. Let's take a look at this.
Adam and Amy, the winner of Comeback Kitchen, and heading straight to Food Network star is Adam.
I can't believe it. Did that really just happen? I've been waiting 10 years for this moment. I feel vindicated.
Congratulations, Adam. Good to see you again. Yeah, it's been a long time since season 4, hasn't it? 10 years. Wow.
Gotten any easier.
No, it has not gotten easier. It has not gotten any easier. So we're dressing this. We have a little mizuna, which is kind of similar to arugula.
Oh, okay.
And then we just dress that with a little olive oil and yuzu.
All right.
Okay, so now, of course, the lox. So you have basically your cream cheese, wasabi cream cheese stuffed bagel, which is beautiful on its own. But now the important part. So we're going to take some of this beautiful lox over here. Like, again, I think the best thing that my people have brought to the gastronomy. To everything, yeah. I mean, lox to me is everything. I never get sick of it. I love it. It's the weekend to me.
Yeah,
it's everything.
Lox is so good. And it's good for you, by the way.
Oh, yeah. That you can have all day. You don't always have to have it on a tempura bagel.
Sure.
So then... To cut the fat and all that's in this, you know, because you got the cheese and you got the wasabi, we got some nice quick pickled cucumbers, and we're just going to kind of lay those on there. Yeah, you can lay some of these guys on there. And notice we're putting the fish on the on the tempura because that's not going to make it soggy. I didn't want to put the cucumbers right on the tempura.
Smart.
That would sogify. And then we have a little simple Kewpie mayo and sriracha.
Oh, I love that. I put that on anything.
Yeah, this is your classic, like,
so
you know, spicy sauce that goes with everything. A little bit like that, and a little bit like that. And then, of course, because I always eat it's breakfast, you got to have eggs with it, right?
Yeah.
Now,
salmon roe.
Now, if I understand correctly, Bobby Flay and Giada De Laurentiis had some great advice for you. Could you share that with us?
Yeah, no, you know, like I said, I've been working kind of on TV for 10 years, so I think I'm a big shot. I think I know everything. And I'm like, so on the upcoming episode, for example, they're kind of giving us like a midterm report because it's halfway through the competition. And I made something that my girlfriend and I enjoy all the time, mappa tofu, right? Which is like, it's an Asian dish. It's kind of popular here in Los Angeles.
Right.
We have San Gabriel Valley, we have Koreatown, but a lot of the country isn't familiar with that.
No one else in the world knows what that is.
So I'm describing this dish, and then Giada's like, yeah, but what is it? You know, and then she takes a bite and she's like, it kind of reminds me of a chili. So it's just like that idea that like professionals like Bobby and Giada, they know how to like make something accessible. They know the way in when you're dealing with 50 states, not just, you know, states where there's a certain kind of population, especially, you know.
That happens to me. If I look on a menu and I don't understand the first 3 items on the menu, it's hard. It feels silly. You're like,
exactly.
Oh, this isn't the place
Hence,
for me.
the spicy salmon roll.
You picked that up. What are you doing?
Spicy salmon roll.
Debbie, come on. I've had you on. She's picked up huge sausages with eggs and things like this, and your knife and fork.
Cheers. Oh, Adam.
We've been eating it wrong the whole time.
Struggling at it.
All right, the full recipe is available on hallmarkchannel.com.